the County Connection. For our next segment, we are going to be talking about some continued progress to reclaim some of our rivers that have been damaged by Summit County's mining past. And here to tell us all about it is Jason LEDERER from Summit County Open Space and Trails. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks for having me back on, Julie.
All right. So, Jason, one of the biggest restoration projects that Summit County has taken on recently to kind of reclaim our land from our mining history here in Summit County is the Swan River Restoration Project. So give us a quick overview of this project.
Sure. So the Swan River Restoration Project's been going on for a number of years. The planning phases have been going on for like a decade or so. But what it really is taking a dredge mined stream. So basically, dredge mining was a process whereby essentially boats with kind of digging buckets and conveyors would dig down through the sediments in the river, pulling out gold and copper and other precious metals and kind of casting aside everything that wasn't considered to be valuable to them. What it did was it left behind big piles of gravel and basically turned the river upside down, so the river's kind of flowing subsurface. And we see evidence of that throughout the county, right through Breckenridge and up through French Gulch, and of course the Swan River Valley. And so what we've been doing is working to sort of reclaim that river and restore it to what would have been a more natural condition. And just this year, we kind of put the finishing touches on sort of the first phase of it. We call it Reach A, which is kind of the first mile or so of stream. And we're continuing to work upstream to keep the progress going. So that's the project in a kind of quick nutshell, and we're still working hard on it to get it done.
Great. And for folks who may be unfamiliar with the results of dredge mining, we have many beautiful rivers in Summit County, and in these places where dredge mining happened, instead of seeing a beautiful river, instead you're just seeing lifeless giant piles of cobblestone, pretty much.
Right. I mean, the problem is it's not a landscape that's conducive for sort of natural life. So there's some stuff out there, but really there isn't a healthy ecological system in the stream. And here in Summit County, we love our streams and water resources. They're a great natural resource for our plant and animal life, but also they're a recreational resource. And so the goal here is basically to remove that gravel, get it out of the way, and then dig down and find that stream and re-expose it to the surface. And so that's what we've been doing for a number of years now. And really, we're kind of in our third or fourth year of construction. It takes a lot of work to get that gravel out of the way, and then build a natural stream system and allow it to sort of evolve into a sort of a more functioning system. And you don't have to go very far to see a project that's been very successful and has been in the landscape for a number of years. Over on the Blue River, by 4 Mile Bridge, kind of by the Tiger Trailhead, or Gold Hill Trailhead, that project was done about a decade ago, and really you can't ever tell we were ever there. And that's the goal here, is if we've done our job right, you'll never know there was ever any mining or that we came in and did anything about it. And so, yeah, that's sort of what we're going for right now out there.
Great. So can you tell me about the work that occurred in 2018?
Sure. Yeah. So leading up to 2018, we did a lot of the mass excavation work, kind of rebuilding this channel, and then kind of restoring the natural landscape around it. So the seeding and the plant installation work and letting it go. In a couple of locations, we weren't so successful, and for a variety of reasons, and that's pretty common to not have 100% success in the revegetation work. So we came in and did some patching up of different locations where we were worried about erosion or where plants weren't doing so well. So we looked at some of the soil issues and corrected those, and now we've sort of put it back, let it go, and we're hoping that sort of we let nature take its course, it'll find its way now. But what we are seeing is a really healthy stream system. We're seeing good plant life both in the stream and along the banks of the stream, and also aquatic life. We're seeing some of our indicator species return to the stream, things like mottled sculpin and juvenile trout species. So we're seeing that spawning is occurring, that there's life returning to this sort of manufactured, engineered landscape. And so this year, that's what we wrapped up doing, and now we're working upstream to try to continue that process and pick up where we left off, taking lessons learned in this first reach and applying them elsewhere.
So in 2018, we had a lot of great volunteer work that is helping to restore this ecosystem as well. Is that right?
That's right. We've had a lot of interest from volunteers, and it's hard to really utilize that excellent resource when there's a lot of heavy equipment on the site. And now that we're sort of out of the way with all of that, and the big work is complete, the re-veg work we're doing requires a lot of hands, and so that's both pulling weeds, but also collecting seeds from other places and just sort of distributing them across the site. So this year we worked with a group from Sierra Club. The local chapter was interested in working with us. They came out and did a bunch of weed pulling, which is really helpful. We try to avoid the use of chemicals out there for weed control. We have to use a little bit, but really the hand pulling goes a long way. And then we work with our community development department as well. So that's our planning department, our open space department, our building department. To do a big seed collection and distribution day. So down towards the Tiger Dredge site, which is just down Tiger Road, we went to some open space properties out there and collected some native seeds and then brought them up to the stream to distribute them. And that's really great because you have not just a native seed, but you have a seed that's really genetically has genetic advantages to that specific type of ecosystem.
Right.
So high alpine, harsh conditions, whatever it might be, and so has a better chance than any store-bought seed of doing well on the site. So we did that this fall, and it worked out well. It snowed right on top of it, and we've had a snowy season so far, and we'd like to keep those seeds buried into the spring when they can germinate. So we're really excited to see how the site takes off next year. We're crossing our fingers for a wetter season, and yeah, we'll be looking for volunteer resources next year as well, probably.
Very cool. Because teamwork doesn't seem work.
There you go. I know, it was a good time out there. We had fun.
Good. So if people are interested in volunteering in the 2019 summer season, what should they do to get involved in restoring this landscape?
We typically work with different groups that are interested in participating in projects like this. There's corporate groups that come out. There's local organizations like the Friends of the Dillon Ranger District, or I guess the local Sierra Club chapter. We've had the Summit Garden Club out there in previous years. So if you're a member of one of those groups or a group that does things like this, you certainly should contact the Open Space Department. And the information's on the Open Space and Trails website, how to get a hold of us. Or get engaged with one of these organizations that does a lot of good volunteer work throughout the county. And we can give you all the details from there.
Awesome. And so in terms of the overall restoration of the Swan River, what is in store for the future?
Sure. So simultaneous with working on Reach A, this first phase, which is looking really good right now, we've been working upstream. So the county still owns property upstream. So it's county and town-owned open space. And it has similar issues to what was present previously on the reach we just finished. So we've been removing a significant volume of dredge gravels that have to be kind of taken out of the way so we have a landscape that we can work with. Really, these are massive piles of gravel. If you've been up Tiger Road, you've seen them. And we've been working with a local contractor to manufacture building materials, so road base or pipe bedding, that type of thing, and then relocating enough site to projects around the county. It's going to everything from building projects in Breckenridge, whether it be some of the resort projects, to affordable housing projects down in Silverthorne, or road projects. Really, it's a good material for a lot of different uses. So we've been working with an excellent contractor up there, and one of the things that's been nice is that we've been able to use this not just as a thing that's in the way, but it's been a resource. So we've been able to kind of collect a royalty off the sales materials, which is specifically dedicated to being reinvested in that restoration project. So with a little bit of luck, we'll wrap up the majority of that removal work this year. In 2019, knock on wood for that one. It comes down to the demand in the market.
Okay.
But once we finish that up, we're kind of teed up to hopefully move right into the restoration phase. So not just the removal phase, but the restoration to a natural stream condition phase. So that's what we have in store right now, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that everything continues to go well. Right now it's going really well up there.
Awesome. That is fantastic. So if people want to follow along on this project more closely as we continue to make progress, how can they do that?
Sure. We're really proud of this project. So we do keep a project blog. It's been a little bit quieter in the last year or so just because there hasn't been a lot of really interesting stuff to talk about, but we update that whenever there's something cool going on, whether it be the results of our fish survey or what's happening next in the project. We hope to have some updates soon for that blog. our county Facebook page. We try to post up there as well. Or they can always feel free to reach out to the Summit County Open Space and Trails Department and me directly. I'm always happy to talk about the project with anyone who wants to hear about it or talk about it in detail.
All right, fantastic. And people can go to the Summit County website to check out the blog, to the Open Space and Trails section of the website. And they can also look at previous blog posts. I know you have a lot of really great pictures there, and what you've done out there is just so spectacular. So
Thanks,
it's really exciting to see something that used to look like the surface of the moon and now is this beautiful river valley.
We're pretty happy with how things have gone. A lot of the credit goes to our partners in this project, not just the county and the town, but it's the Forest Service, the Blue River Watershed Group, Fish and Wildlife. We've got a number of great partners that we talk about on the website as well, and yeah, people should check it out and get engaged if they'd like to.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jason, for coming in today and filling us in on all the great work that's been happening on the Swan River in 2018.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a break, but then when we come back, we're going to talk about Summit County's Community Health Improvement Plan.